We are back to talk more about New Jersey. I know you guys are probably sick of talking about it, but some of you aren't. And for those of you that are here for it and you've grabbed your popcorn and your Diet Cokes and you're going to sit back and watch the show, I'm going to give it to you fact for fact. Okay, guys? So make sure before we get started, you hit that like button. It really helps my videos. Subscribe to my channel. Turn those notifications on. They're very important, especially when we have all of this drama going on in New Jersey with these women right now. They're basically like, they're kind of putting, I don't know, we'll get into it. Okay. Everyone up to speed, right? Everyone knows that the last couple of days, there were allegations that Melissa was cheating on Joe Gorga. Hey, from Victoria Island. Yes. Hey, Stace. Hey, Groovy. Hi, guys. Happy afternoon. So a new blind item, right? We know that the allegations are that Melissa was cheating on Joe Gorga. This is like, we've heard these rumors for years and years, right? Now, somebody on Twitter made a really great point that typically if someone accuses you of cheating and you didn't cheat, you laugh it off. Do you guys think that's the case? Or no, do you get upset about it? I want to know. Secondly, everyone knows Melissa's being accused of cheating on Joe Gorga with this guy named Nick who has this Instagram, and he's pretty much deleting everyone's comments. It's mentioning Melissa. He's cleaned up his page, but he's also somehow affiliated with the family, and we're kind of pending people to get back and let us know the, status. Trust me, everyone is working on this. Let me read you guys the blind item though. Okay. It says, now this was submitted, this was not a blind item by the Crazy Days and Nights, who are like the website that typically does all of the blind items. This was information sent into Bravo and Cocktails. I'm uploading a video, guys. I'm going to explain this to you really quickly. Do we understand that these women play games with the press and bloggers and YouTubers, right? We know this to be true because Erica Jane, when her American Express credit card $25 million bill was pulled, they found lots and lots and lots of thousands of dollars, in the tens of the thousands of dollars, money that she was paying press outlets, YouTubers, to run her specific stories that she wanted ran, but also to protect her from bad press. So we saw LVP be accused of this. Back whenever Mauricio was allegedly having an affair, we saw her be accused of this when the Puppygate happened. And now we're kind of seeing accusations coming at Melissa that she allegedly has these relationships with Page Six, and that's why they're running kind of shitty stories about Teresa. Fake news, right? They ran a fake story about Teresa and Louie sending Melissa and Joe a bill because they didn't show up and eat their dinner, so they were going to send them a bill for their plates. But that wasn't the case, and Jennifer Aiden cleared that up for us, and that came directly from Page Six. Anyways, this was submitted to Bravo and Cocktails. So again, guys, this can be the Bravo Celebrities camp giving information directly to the blogger, and the blogger is just disguising it as anonymous information to hide their relationship. When I first got into YouTube, I tell the story in my other video. I was going to work with a big time YouTuber. We worked on a story for a week. Actually, it was a story out of New Jersey. It was big. It was fire. A night before, they told me they were going to reach out to Gorga reps and Judice reps. And the next day, they called me and told me we couldn't do the story. Well, they couldn't do the story. And that, that basically, it is what it is. They can't do it. So then I realized what was happening was this blogger, this YouTuber had a relationship. I don't know if you would call that a professional relationship, maybe a professional relationship off the record, where the Bravo celebrity gives the YouTuber info to, one, keep the YouTuber happy so they don't run bad press on you. If you get a relationship and a rapport, then you'll know that that certain YouTuber isn't going to run bad press on you, and you're going to give them information and bits and pieces and tea. And I think this happens a lot with these women, and we don't even know it. So this could be one of those times where it's actually coming from Marge or Marge's camp directly. I'm sure, you know, sometimes they probably don't correspond directly, or they have like fake accounts, or they have their like assistant do it, whatever. They get it there, okay? You guys get the point. Now, this is what it says. This is how it actually went down. Hold on one second. This is also on Twitter. Let me see what account reposted this so I can give them credit here. It was Brightly. So go follow them on Twitter at Brightly again. And it's from the Bravo and Cocktails site, and it is titled, "This is how it actually," in all capital letters, "went down regarding the rumor." Now, we know that Margaret is allegedly responsible for this rumor because it's her ex-best friend, childhood friend, that has opened the can of worms and alleged that Margaret told her this a long time ago, and now she's outing her. So the person who submitted this used initials, but I'll fill in their names for you. It's subject, how it went down. NJ, Margaret's former good friend, who is pissed she didn't make the cut to be on the show. I told you guys this, right? We talked about the fact that they were giving her an opportunity. The 3 women were going to come on New Jersey. They weren't giving anyone a full-time spot until they saw what they were going to bring, okay? Allegedly, she's pissed because she said Margaret was actually not trying to help her get on the show. She was doing the opposite, but she was telling the friend that she was trying to help her. Okay, anyways. So, Margaret's former good friend, who is pissed she didn't make the cut on the show, the one who met up with Jennifer and Teresa to tell them stuff to make Margaret look bad. She started the cheating rumor about Melissa Gorga. Teresa, wanting nothing to do with it, was looking forward to enjoying her wedding. Teresa asked Jennifer to leave it alone. Both Teresa and Jennifer, albeit the rumor was complete bullshit, but J.A., which would be Jennifer, the new, she's like the best friend of Margaret, she might be part-time, would have been happy to get it out there. Same as she was about J.G.'s husband's fake cheating rumor. Anyway, at the finale party, Margaret and Louie get into a huge fight about something completely unrelated. But Melissa Gorga exposed about Louie is really bad. Let me read that apart again. They say, anyway, at the finale, Margaret and Louie get into a huge fight, huge in capital letters, about something completely unrelated to Melissa and the family, right? But what Melissa Gorga exposed about Louie was real bad. He brought up the cheating rumor that all involved knew was made up by Margaret's former friend. So basically, all of this is Louie's fault, not Teresa's. He was backed into a corner and knew about this nonsense rumor, so he blurted it out. Once he said this about Melissa Gorga, that is when Joe Gorga and Louie almost fought. I mean, we know how Joe Gorga is. He's like, I am boss man, hear me roar. Like, I can't even imagine. And if he was drinking, oh my gosh. So let me read that again. Once Louie said this about Melissa, that's when Joe Gorga and Louie almost fought. And there you have it. You'll see it all unfold at the finale party this season. I keep seeing different versions posted, but this is actually how it went down. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? So the rumor's fake. I could believe that. I mean, I really could believe that because, guys, I keep telling you guys, I can't wait to be right about this, that everyone that's broadcasting that this Nick Marrero guy is the one that she was cheating with, it's not true. I'm telling you guys, he is affiliated, like, he's a step cousin. There's some sort of affiliation by marriage there, and she's not sleeping with him. I'm not saying Melissa's perfect. I'm not saying I don't think that she was cheating back in season 4. I'm just saying that right now I do think the rumor could potentially be bullshit. It just seems strange that that this new girl would pull. Why would she pick Melissa, right? Like, if you're mad at Margaret and you want to make up a rumor about someone and you want to get someone mad at Margaret, why would you pick Melissa? Like, wouldn't you want to stick Teresa on her? Jennifer, I mean, Jennifer already has a bone with Marge considering she like exposed Bill's affair. So there must have been some sort of a crack in Melissa and Margaret's friendship for the childhood friend to come in and allegedly start this rumor. Guys, did I tell you I'm trying to get her on here. So if any of you guys know how to get a hold of Jen, please let me know. I can't message her husband on Twitter. I guess I could tweet him, but because there's like no message available. But I want to talk to her. I want her to come on really, really bad. So if you guys know where to find her, please let me know so I can message her, email address, whatever the case may be. If she wants to talk, we're here to listen. I'm going to be on Dana Wilkie Thursday morning live. By the way, P.S. all of you, make sure you catch it. We're going to do Beverly Hills and possibly more information on New Jersey. She's with me. This man is not who Melissa is cheating with, if she is cheating. It just still, again, it seems strange that you would pick Melissa and Joe and just make up this rumor out of nowhere. I just think that sounds, I don't know. Are they doing damage control? Is the rumor like true that she was cheating? They threw in the other guy to confuse everyone, and now they're just trying to do damage control? Like, okay, now the rumors aren't true. I don't know, guys. I mean, if I was accused of cheating on my husband, which I'm not married, but if I had a husband, and maybe say my sister's husband accused me of cheating, I would be pissed. But I don't know if I would like be pissed at them so much so that I wouldn't come to their wedding. Like, I'd be like, you're marrying a douchebag. Like, I don't want you to marry him, but at the same time, like, I love you, you're my sibling, and I may never speak to him again, but, I'll still have love for you. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It does say that Louie and Joe almost fought, so that probably might have been where, like, again, if Joe Gorga was drinking, oh my gosh, he probably went fucking crazy, guys. First of all, do you guys remember when they beat up that guy, Johnny the Greek, in like season 3 or 4? Remember? Jacqueline was hitting him in the head with her high heel, and Chris and Jack, they all had to go to court. That happened, guys. Go back and watch your seasons. Absolutely. Jacqueline and her husband Chris beat up Johnny the Greek. There's blood everywhere. It happened in Kim D's business, her store, and they had to go to court. Jacqueline was hitting him in the head with her high heel and was making him he was bleeding from it. So he sadly has since passed, but yeah, they beat him up. Like, they're connected. They are proud of their Italian heritage, and to them, Joe Gorga is like the epitome of like the Italian husband, and he would of course go bananas if someone said this about his wife while they were filming. I don't know. It's really crazy. I mean, and Louie's got to feel shitty too, because here's the thing, he said it, he was backed into a corner, but at the same time, like, now you've damaged Teresa's relationship with her brother and so badly that he didn't even come to the wedding. But at the same time, you're like, Teresa, why would you fucking tell Louie that? He should be on like a need to know basis when it comes to like the show. He shouldn't be privy to everything because he's just supposed to be a husband. This is what happens when you get all these husbands in the mix. Then you get fallouts with the spouses. and it affects filming because you have spouses that are pissed at each other. You know what I mean? It happens in Married to Medicine too, because their spouses are always around. So like, say you got Dr. Jackie and her spouse, and the other people offend the spouse, it just ends up being really messy. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. Now we got Louie and Joey fighting, and Teresa's going to pay the price for it regardless. She should have never told him. She should have never even have told him and gave him the option to repeat it, right? She has lots of people she could talk to, people that she could keep secrets. She could have told Melissa off camera, you know, privately, and they could, like, this happened. She's trying to spread a rumor that you're cheating. You know, and her and Louie and Joe and Melissa could have like joked about it, been like, I just want to let you know, I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying this is what's being said, and address it. But instead, it makes it like a big secret, like, you know, and they treat it as if it's a rumor, like it's information that no one can know because it happened. But if it never happened, then it's just a lie, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think she should be more mindful about the things that she shares with Louie. I don't think that he should be privy to everything on the show, because it's just not his place. Like, I don't know. I don't want to see Louie all the time. Like, I love Teresa, but I love Teresa in a dynamic around other women. Teresa's not the same person that she is when she's around a man, especially her husband, that she is when it's just the girls. And I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I think that's like this submission in her that she grew up with, and in her mind that's like a good wife, to be, you know, quiet and submissive to her husband. And I'm not sure if we're going to see that. We saw that a lot with Joe Giudice. I don't know if we'll see it with Louie too. But regardless, I just don't think that Teresa can authentically be herself when she's around a man or when she's around her husband. So I'm hoping that Bravo is not going to push the husbands on us, because now we're going to have a lot going on. Like, we have a really tangled web right now of, if you haven't been following Jersey, it's going to be hard just to start this season, because you're going to be lost a little bit, because there's a lot of dynamic here. So it kind of makes it hard for new viewers to understand what's going on. And the other people who have been watching this whole time, they don't want to recap it, because we've already been recapping it before the season even started. So definitely excited for this finale. They filmed it at Paulie's house. What do you guys think of Paulie? I want to know. I like live. Do you guys like talking back and forth? People bitch in the comments when I talk back and forth with you guys and comment. But after I give you the info, I like to conversate. Like, that's why I like to do lives with you guys. What do you guys think of Paulie? Because I don't know. I feel like, hey, Shannon the Van. Yes, honey. I love her. She's so sweet. You guys can catch us on Make It Make Sense. We did a couple Beverly Hills episodes. They were really good. What a joke. Joe and Teresa have never had a good relationship just because they only have each other. I told you guys. Thank you, Shan. She loves the live content. Melissa was allegedly dating Joe's best friend. So their entire narrative and story that they told us about how they were young and wild and went to Cancun for spring break and ran it and met each other, and then they both came back to New Jersey and neither one of them saw each other for 6 months, and then they ran into each other and they moved in together a month later because Joe was living in like a $3.5 million house that he had just built that he would later sell to like a famous NFL player. That was allegedly what Teresa was frustrated about, was Joey had had 2 fiancés prior to Melissa. And he had just broken off a wedding, and if they had went so far as to plan the wedding shower and everything, he'd just broken off an engagement prior with a woman who, something happened at her shower with his mother, and I don't know, he didn't end up marrying her over it. He felt like his family had been disrespected. That's what makes your channel authentic. If you don't respond to your supporters, they won't feel connected. Thank you, Alan. Stace said I don't like Paulie's vibe so far. Me either. I don't either. I think he's full of shit. So that the real reason Joe and Teresa's mom did not like Melissa. Yeah, yes. Joey had 2 fiancés prior to Melissa. And again, he was like, do you guys remember like in the, late 90s, early 2000s, like, I feel like the economy was good and people were flipping houses. That was like a really big thing, and that's what Joe Giudice was into. And allegedly, Joe Giudice says he took Joe Gorga under his wing and said, this is, they did a project together. He showed him the way, and then Joe did his own house, okay? And that is like the $3.5 million house that he sold after him and Melissa got married. Like, she moved in with him 6 weeks after they started dating. So to Teresa and his mom, they probably didn't even take the relationship that serious because he had just had 2 like engagements broken off. So I think that's why maybe at first they didn't like think she was even going to stick around for very long, and maybe they weren't super nice to her because they had already had to develop relationships with 2 other women that they thought he was going to marry. So by the time Melissa came along, they weren't interested because they didn't think she was going to stick around, and then she was like offended, and it just started this whole like cycle of dysfunction. Back to Paulie. I don't like his vibe either. First of all, whenever they first started dating and she like came out with it and she was posting him on her Instagram and had all these like cute pictures and selfies, they were like on a plane somewhere. I went onto his Instagram and he had nothing of her. He had like one tiny like video of them, and it was her of Dolores' backside. You couldn't even tell it was Dolores. I did not like that because I felt like that, like, if I don't know, he should be like worshiping her. He should be like praising her and like telling the world that he's dating her because she's beautiful. I mean, for all the reasons, you guys, that we know that Dolores is an amazing, strong, beautiful, rich woman. I don't like his vibe. I just don't like his vibe because he seems so comfortable. Like, usually when the spouse comes on or the new boyfriend, like, they're not already hosting events. Like, he hosted the finale. Why would Paulie host the finale? Again, is Bravo trying to like make their own franchise of husbands? Is like Dolores taking a back seat to this dude because Bravo likes him? Like, what's going on? Why wouldn't Dolores, like, I don't know. I just didn't like that. Paulie seems creepy. Thank you, Michelle. Hey, at work listening, yes, have a great day. Dolores picks awful men. She does pick awful men. She definitely picks awful men, for sure. But yeah, I think that he's creepy. I don't really like him either. I don't know why they would have the finale at his house. I guess he's like some sort of an electrician, or he owns his own like company. But has money, of course. But I did see a photo of Dolores, and she was driving, I want to say it was like a Rolls Royce convertible, and he was in the passenger seat. And I kind of said it was a little bit like demasculating for him, probably because like we didn't even know him, and then it makes it look like he's like using her for like the money and stuff. But people said that it wasn't her Rolls Royce, it was actually his Rolls Royce. But he doesn't look like a guy that can afford a Rolls Royce, so I was confused. Dolores wants marriage, Paulie wants exposure of his business. Where does Dolores get money from? Alan, she was in like the criminal justice, if you will. She was like, I think she was a cop, I think she worked in a prison, those sorts of things. But I think she gets her money from the show, and I think that her and Frank probably, well, they also own gyms. They allegedly owned spas. Did you guys know that? Like back in the day, like spas. Like spas. Yes, Dolores will tell you that. They owned spas. Which makes sense because Frank says he loved boats and hoes and long days of like skiing with his nose. She was a corrections officer. Yes, she was. So I think that her money comes from the show, and from the gyms that they have, and then also they had, no, Dolores does not come from money. I think her family were just average. Her dad was a cop. I think Paulie is a little weird too. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are getting the vibe. I'm looking at creepy. Yeah, he's a little weird. I don't know. It's like he's a little too eager, I feel like. They haven't even been dating that long. Like, Louie and Teresa, I think, dated, like, after she had wrapped up. No, they were, like, filming, and then they started dating, so they had, like, time to get serious. I think that helped a little bit because they introduced him at the end of the one season and then brought him on the next season. This is going to feel like a whole new cast member because he went on the trip, too. I think Paulie's a little weird. Frank was a little background too. Yeah, Frank definitely has a little bit of a background. I think that he probably used to drink and have long days of like skiing because that was like, the rich drug of choice for people that had money. I feel like that was a big thing, among like mobsters and like the connected people in that area. It was like a social favor. Lots of rumors about Melissa and Joe and their skiing adventures. A lot of people said that the baptism, where we meet Melissa and Joe, that there was a lot of skiing with their noses. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, the night before, and that they were all partying, and that does not surprise me at all. Did Frank lose his law license too? He was a shady dude. Yes, he did. He got disbarred. Dolores found out at the reunion. He didn't even tell her ahead of time. This was a couple of years ago. He was disbarred. He was a real estate attorney. Now, someone debates me on this, and they tell me that he was a divorce attorney, but he was not. He was a real estate attorney. I don't know, maybe he helped a divorce attorney, who knows, whatever. We know this because his name is on transactions of Joe Gorga's real estate transactions. And there's one specific transaction, and if you follow me, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a transaction that had to do with Joe Gorga's dad, and Joe Gorga putting the home up for collateral. And the witness is Frank Catania. But I don't think that means that he's like a bad guy. I think that he probably liked to party and he wasn't a great husband. But now I think that he probably is a much different man than he was 25 years ago. Actually, I don't know how much I can like get into this with you guys, but the missing girl that I always post about, that I just posted again in the community page, he's been helping with that case. Like, he's been helping, like, it's just crazy because he didn't know anything about it. He wasn't affiliated. He didn't know. It was brought to his attention. And he's literally been helping with this case and this missing girl out of New Jersey. And it's really amazing that he is, and he has some support from some of the New Jersey cast, and you'll see they have posted about the same missing girl that I've posted about. But yeah, Frank, I think he's actually a really good person, and he actually has a really, really good heart. He's been so kind to the mother. I could almost cry, literally, right now. I feel like I want to cry because he's been so kind to her, and like he doesn't know them. He doesn't nothing. He just was told about them and like got on the train to start helping whatever he could do. And so I have like nothing but nice things to say about him for that. And like I said, he like even got other castmates to help too. And he's like actively working with, us in the foundation and trying to get, some things done. And so I think that we've actually had some success from what I'm hearing and some messages I got. So hopefully there's an announcement about some things like going on with the New Jersey parks and stuff, because if you guys don't know, the missing child that I posted on my community page, that I post about a lot on Instagram as well, you can go follow missing child _ New Jersey. She, they keep us up to date with her case specifically, and she did go missing from a park in New Jersey. So yeah, he has like shocked me beyond I can't even believe, really, because you don't usually get that response from people that have any sort of like clout or status. Like 90% of the time they don't even want to correspond with you. So the fact that he like corresponded and got on board and started helping with this missing child and helping the mother, I'm like so touched. So I have nothing bad to say about him. He did get disbarred, but you know what? I mean, I feel like all attorneys are bad attorneys. I mean, look at Tom Girardi. He like ripped widows and orphans off, and at least Frank's was like, real estate stuff, like probate stuff like that. You don't hear victims popping up in the comments saying Frank Catania, took my goddamn house. Did I tell you guys that there was a comment that popped up in a TikTok that said that Kim Richards' mother hustled this woman's dad into buying a house and remodeling it, and it was in Big Kathy's name. And when she died, Kim was, even though he bought the house and paid for the remodel, Kim was like, hey, yo, it's checkout time. Like, you got a month. You gotta get out. This ain't your house no more. One of the reasons that she wrote the letter for Dina's ex is that she and Frank are getting into the pot business. They need to get favors from connections that Dina's ex-husband has. Okay, Monty girl. Very much could be true. If any of you guys are into recreational or medical marijuana, you should go follow my friend Ginny. Her account's called Bravo and Blaze. She has a YouTube that she's just starting. But she does like a lot of content and a lot of funny stuff. And she is a mother activist for medical marijuana, and it is getting legal. I think it's even recreational in like New York and New Jersey. But what I've learned is even though the states are making it recreational, it's still not readily available to residents because the dispensaries aren't up to speed. Like with the process for the approval, I know where I'm from, when they opened a medical marijuana dispensary, anyone that wanted to be the dispensary in that county had to fill out an application, and it was a $10,000 fee to file it. So there were 5 people in the entire county that filed to get the license for the medical marijuana dispensary in my area, and they're making money hand over fist. So it's definitely a moneymaker for sure, and that would not surprise me at all because, guys, we know they were in the spa business. We talked about that. They're in the gym business. Remember, guys, the gym business is how we allegedly found out about Jackie's affair. Remember? Because Evan was having an affair allegedly with the trainer at a gym that Frank, readily attended, and that's how he knew her. Yeah. So I'm going to protect for Kylie to give Kim her money for the house. I believe in it. Thank God it's legal here. Yes, Shay, absolutely. Spa and a massage parlor. I know. That's what, Dolores admits it. She laughed about it. I don't know if it was a really long time ago when the regulations aren't what they are now, but she was again, she was in the corrections Department of Corrections, so she knows what's lucrative. She's not an idiot, and he's smart. He's an attorney, so they probably were making money, I would assume. And now they probably still have money coming in from there. And also, they're flipping houses. They're probably doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't even really know about. And Frank is living with David, which again kind of blows my mind. Because that means that David's hanging out with Frank's girlfriend, who is now on the show. Just saying. Yeah. Shay says it's way better than prescribed medication. Completely agree. A lot of times you see people struggling with pharmaceuticals. If they go to the doctor and they have pain, they seem to be able to manage it better with medical marijuana. So, absolutely. Dolores knows loopholes. Unfortunately, my job, we are federally mandated, so until it would become federal, any of the employees, we can't partake, and that's okay for right now. I heard they don't live together anymore, Frank and David. I don't know. I want to find out. I bet that they probably don't, and I'm going to tell you why, because his girlfriend probably has to film. She is really pretty blonde. She kind of looks like Danielle. And one of the girls is a really good friend of hers, and I think it's Danielle. So that means Danielle is going to have her bestie on the show, of course, and her bestie is Frank's girlfriend. So I think we're going to be seeing a hell of more of Frank and a girlfriend and his boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic than we've ever seen before. Also, I heard they don't live. Okay, ridiculous. Kyle and Mauricio were paying Kim's rent. Mauricio says family first. I did hear that Kyle actually owns the apartment building that Kim has lived in for the last couple, 3-4 years. I did hear that, but who knows? She could make her pay rent. We don't really know what goes on behind, closed doors with those types of situations with family and money, and can be very, very, very messy. Very messy, and I think that Kim just, basically sacrificed her childhood, and she is resentful. It doesn't matter though. She scammed out of her house. They owe her more than a little rent help. Yeah, probably. They probably do. Because what we have to remember is, okay, if Kim was actively drinking when all of this was like taking place after the mother died, um, you basically were taking advantage of her because one, you probably said like her opinion wasn't valid because she's drinking, and so we can't listen to anything that she says or any of her suggestions on how we should divvy everything up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Did Kathy even take anything? I mean, if you have the money of the Hiltons, like, are you going to take money from your mom's estate? I don't know, guys. Don't you think that maybe it would have just went between Kim and Kyle and they would have split it and, like, Kathy would have just taken sentimental things? I don't know. I can't think that she would have, her mom would have had that much of an estate that she would have wanted a piece of it, but maybe, you know what I mean? Like, they should have just bought Kim a house and paid it off wherever and let her be like, this is your house, like, here you go. Wasn't Kim writing a book? I'm sure she referred a lot behind the scenes. Good question, Jay. Yes, she was writing a book. It was a tell-all. It was about to come out, and they halted it. They put it on hold. So I don't know what that means. We haven't heard anything else in the press about it, but she definitely was writing a tell-all. So, you know, Miss Kathy don't like that. Kathy Hilton doesn't want any sort of tell-all. She doesn't like that at all. Pause. Conrad. Kathy Hilton has a son, Conrad, who has a wife, Tessa, who looks exactly like Nikki, and she's pregnant. And they had a baby shower for her in Malibu. And it was just a little weird. Did you guys see any footage of this? Do you guys follow her? She's pregnant. She's about to get, she's really, really pregnant. And it's obviously Kathy hosting it. It's in Malibu. It's like on their deck on the ocean. It's gorgeous, beautiful, tons of flowers. But I didn't see Paris there. And also there was a photo posted of Rick Hilton, and I screenshotted it for you guys, and you're effing welcome. Because I'm like, what? This man, I mean, I think Kathy hides him. I swear to God, I think she's embarrassed of him. And I think that she probably stayed drunk and high when they were like raising their kids. You know, they used to go out all the time. So like she would sleep, get up, get ready. They would go out. So the only time she would have to really deal with him was when he was like home from work and they were out at the bar drinking and partying, right? And like now, I just think she's fucking embarrassed of him. Not embarrassed of his money, just embarrassed of him. Because the way like we never see him. And he just looks a hot mess. Can you guys see when I put this up? That's Tessa, that's Kathy, and there's Rick. I mean, he just looks a mess. Rick, what are you doing? You need to retire, boo. Take a break. Put your feet up. You look tired. You look great. And you're wearing like that really thin white linen where you can like see through it, that old men wear. And you can like see through their white linen t-shirt. Just saying. Well, why was the mom hustling men and forcing her kids to do things underage? She seems like she needed money. Alan, yes, that's what they alleged that she was that she hustled men. That was her thing. She would go drink at the Beverly Hills Hotel. That's why Kim got arrested there. Because Big Kathy had a booth there, and she drank there every day from morning till night. And everyone that knew her knew that this is what she did, and then at the end of the night, she would try to find a man to pay her tab. The word on the curve was that she really liked that dark chocolate. Just saying. For all your brothers out there. And the Beverly Hills Hotel was actually owned by Kim's ex-husband, her in-laws. That's how much money the people that Kathy Hilton and them set Kim up with had. Beverly Hills Hotel, for God's sake. Oh my gosh. Also, I think that now to our standard today of like what we consider like the Me Too movement and like all of this stuff that we hear about these Disney producers that, we know about the 100 Disney employees that were arrested for essay on children, and then we hear about these like Nickelodeon shows, all these shows where there's like all these vulnerable children, like these producers are pedophiles. Like a lot of the times we're like finding out these people are pedophiles. So these children are being put in situations around grown men and probably doing things that they don't want to do. And I can only imagine that if that's how it was for Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and those kids when they were coming up on Disney. I can't even imagine the filth of what Kim probably endured as a child in Hollywood in the 60s and 70s. Like, think about that for 1 second. I mean, she probably dealt with a lot. I can't say anything about Jersey anymore. You've grown your channel big time. Thanks, Ruby. These lives be so good. I was supposed to be going to the grocery store 30 minutes ago. Yeah. I mean, Big Kathy was a mess. And she had no problem. She was like the worst stage mom. She was like a stage mom on steroids, right? She was. She married Kyle and Kim's dad. They lived in like Nebraska or Oklahoma. And she moved them to Hollywood, to California, to make them child stars. She convinced their dad, Kyle and Kim's dad, that they would be child stars, and he moved them out there. And once Kim made it big enough that she could support the family, she divorced him. And I think that also, this is where I think Kathy comes in. I think that when Kim was in her younger 20s, I saw some photographs, they were actually kind of sad. Kathy was hooking her up. Kathy and Big Kathy were finding men that had a lot of money, and they were pushing Kim to hook up with them. That's why when we see Monty, who was Kim's ex-husband, in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we see him, he comes on there, he's sick with cancer, and Kim is taking care of him. That was her first husband, and she loved him, but she cheated on him with, like a billionaire family, not billionaire, but like close to, like family money out the wazoo. Someone that Kathy Hilton had met in Rick's circle, and had encouraged the relationship even though Kim was married, right? And Kim looks so young. Like, she looks so young. Like, probably in her early 20s. And she has an older sister that is hanging out with older rich men and their families. And basically, you look to your family for navigation in life, right? Don't you? I mean, like, if your parents, the people that teach you your morals and values, tell you that it's okay, like, you're probably going to think it's okay until you find out different, right? I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying that it seems like they really gave Kim a lot of bad advice, is what they did. And they messed her up. And I think that she deals with that. And I think she had a really bad childhood in Hollywood, and we don't even know a piece of it. Because she probably don't even tell people that. Maybe that's like stuff she shares with like her one-on-one counselor, but nobody else. He was allowed to live there rent-free for 1 year, then kicked him out. Oh, okay, nice. The thing is, the parents, they'd be jailed now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the book like talks about her drugging Kyle and Kim's dad. Just crazy stuff, like crazy stuff, because Kim and Kyle's stepmother gave interviews for the book, The House of Hilton, and so she really gives us a lot of tea on Big Kathy. So if you're interested in Big Kathy, you should read that book, because it's very telling and it's very good read. You'll read it very quickly. It's called The House of Hiltons, and it came out when Paris was big back in the early 2000s. Yeah, she was a stage mom from hell, basically, and she was an alcoholic, and she loved men. She loved men, and she loved money. And it's so crazy, because did you guys know that Kyle had step brothers and sisters? Because their dad, after Big Kathy divorced him because she had enough money from Kim, she like divorced him, and he went on and got married. But we never ever saw Kyle ever mention like her stepbrother's a sister or her stepmother. I don't even know if that lady's passed yet. The dad is passed, but I'm not sure about the stepmother. But like, they don't even own that. Like, that's not even like, I don't even think up here like Kyle thinks of them as any sort of like relation to her and Kim and Kathy. So just a couple little fun facts for you guys. What are you guys thinking about New Jersey, though? Are you guys tired of hearing about it? What do you think is going to happen? How long is this 4-part series going to take for Bravo to come out? I'm curious. I want to know how they're going to air this. Like, are they going to make us wait for the season? Probably. So the season filmed basically the same schedule that it did last year, maybe a couple of weeks off. And they aired the first episode like February 1st of last year. So we probably won't have New Jersey. I usually try to say it's like 6 months after they wrap up. Sometimes shorter. I think they try to make it shorter, but it just doesn't happen that way, which doesn't make sense because New Jersey never have like a super long season anyway. They had a super short season. So maybe we'll get them sooner. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get a longer season this year. And then they'll go into the 4-part series. I'm not sure how they'll do that. I'm thinking that's how, because that's how they did it whenever Teresa and the girls went to Italy. Remember, they like, when Joe came home from prison, they filmed, wrapped up filming, Joe came home from prison, fast forward, Teresa and the girls go meet Joe in Italy. What's crazy is that New Jersey isn't even out yet, and there's so much tea. Alan says he thinks it'll come in a month or two. So much tea. Has anyone seen the roller skating date? Haven't. I'm not sure what that is. In Jersey. Huh? Oh, yes, I did. Yes, Did you guys see that where they're all dressed up in like the 80s and like the pink leotards and they're on roller skates? The whole cast. It must have been like a cast, filming event, whatever. I did hear that Jackie runs off from the wedding and she's like really pissed. But nobody even is bothered to wonder why. Like no one's even talking about that. And we also know that she didn't make it as a full-time housewife. It was announced, pretty much announced that Jackie did not make it as a full-time housewife. Which I think maybe is a blessing in disguise, guys. We kind of talked about that with her and her struggles and her eating disorder. It might be good for her to like not be full-time because maybe she can give a little bit more attention to her own health. Okay, I'm late. I'm catching up with videos, Holly says. I saw it. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Teresa and Joe Gorga, because also if they do this series and Joe Gorga doesn't come to the wedding and they like leave the season in like a fight, then basically the viewers have like no closure, right? Like I don't think they'll get closure at the reunion. It'll probably be worse. Maybe they'll bring just like Teresa and Joe out at the same time together, just those two, and give them time to kind of hash it out. People were trying to say that the reunion was filmed the week of the wedding because Page 6 came out when they did, their article or whatever. They've been doing articles back and forth all, since the wedding. They stated something about a filming at the reunion, and people were like going wild. Like, how could they have filmed the reunion? Why would they film the reunion the week of the wedding? This doesn't make any sense. And I think it was just a typo. Really, it was a typo on Page 6's end because, no, they have not filmed the reunion. She is just not a good fit for the show to me, Jackie. Jackie is boring. Joe and Teresa need to cut ties for good. Crystal as well. I do think that it's really crazy how the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are handling Crystal's eating disorder versus how New Jersey is handled Jackie's eating disorder. The other women never even speak on Jackie's eating disorder. Like, I don't even think any of them knew that she was dealing with it until maybe the reunion or when they watched the season back, because none of the women discussed it. Margaret discussed it with Jackie, like, in a scene, but that was it. And then the only other time we saw it was when Jackie would go to the doctor or when Jackie would discuss it with Evan, her husband. So it didn't really make for a great storyline because it only involved their little family, because I don't know if she didn't want to share it with other. I don't know, to be honest with you. There could be a million reasons. Whatever the reasons, they didn't really share it with the rest of the cast. They didn't film and talk about it, and we were kind of left hanging at the end of the season because she was just like, she hadn't even gone to treatment that long, and she really wasn't following their suggestions. Remember, they wanted her to go to an inpatient. She didn't feel like she needed that. So Crystal, on the other hand, in Beverly Hills, they're talking very freely about her eating disorder, and they ask her Erica drilled her hard-on questions about her eating disorder. Does she throw up? Does she use laxative? Does she use her middle finger or her forefinger to throw up? Does she brush her teeth afterwards? I mean, I was like, damn. Like, isn't that would, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that would be like looking at an alcoholic and being like, well, do you like vodka or tequila? Do you drink it out of the bottle or do you drink it on ice? Do you use a lime? Do you drink first thing in the morning or do you wait for an hour? Do you wait at drink a drink at 9 a.m. and then wait till 12 to have a double? Like, how do you do it? Do you like to get drunk first thing in the morning and then pass out and wake up back up and drink again? Like, it was just kind of vulgar and very insensitive the way Erica was, talking to her about her eating disorder. Like, she wasn't sensitive, she wasn't gentle, she wasn't nurturing, and in that statement, I don't think any of the women in Beverly Hills really were when they were talking about Crystal's eating disorder. Maybe Dorit, but I feel like Dorit's just doing it to keep people happy because she doesn't want people to hate her, and she wants them to tell her that she looks beautiful, and we love all of her designer labels so much, and we're so happy that PK is getting new chompers. Is this really our effing storyline, PK getting new teeth? I'm just wondering if this is really the storyline. We went from robbery to new teeth. I don't understand. I just don't understand it. I don't. And for you guys, just so you guys know, that is painful. ATF. They take out all of your teeth and go back in and twist implants into your mouth. And let me tell you how much an implant is, okay? Cheap implant for one tooth in probably the shittiest city in America is like $3,800 to $4,200 for one implant. So how many teeth do you have? I should know this because I know, well, you guys know why I should know this, but I can't remember, I want to say 32. So if you did, okay, let's just say he did 32 teeth. Maybe he only did 30. He didn't maybe do the wisdoms, right? And at like, let's say $4,000 a piece, don't you think? I mean, that's cheap. He's in Beverly Hills. I'm gonna say he paid $5,000 an implant, unless the guy did it completely for free, but I don't think he would. That'd be like $150,000. Guys, implants are expensive as fuck. No joke, literally. Do you think that Crystal talked about her eating disorder is going to get her demoted too? I think her lack of engagement is going to get her booted. She doesn't, she just really, there's not a whole lot going on there. There's not really a lot going on with her husband. There's not really a lot going on with her kids, her brother. Like, there's just really not a lot going on there. I don't really care to watch her, like, scenes, her confessionals, like, we like someone that has a little bit of sass, right? Don't we? I mean, when someone goes into the confessional, honey, that's your chance. We want to hear you throw some shade, an insult, a jab, a high, a low, a hook, hit them from the side, whatever you got to do, but give us something. Please? If not, I don't know. I feel like they kind of use her to, like, fill confessionals and fill the scenes. Really, that's what I think. Like, her husband is cringy, kind of. He makes me cringe. Does he make you guys cringe? Because he makes me cringe. He makes me cringe. And I found out he was, like, big producer on The Lion King, and so, just saying. Anyways, I don't really care for Crystal, so. Also saw Kyle Richards was going hard for Teddi Mellencamp yet again when she did an interview. I can give you guys the source if you'd like, but she was just talking about how much she just wants Teddi Mellencamp back to film and how she thinks she would be so amazing. Blase skip. The same thing that we hear all of the time from Kyle about Teddi. And I don't usually say much about Tamara, but she pissed me off about that guy on Twitter today whenever he asked if Tamara would have his wife on her podcast, and she was so ignorant to him. My aunt just paid $40,000 for hers. Yes, Alan. They talked about Jackie's eating disorder at the lunch by the shore before Melissa met up with Danielle. They did, but I just didn't. It's definitely nothing. It was like known in Beverly Hills, like everyone knew. And it just didn't seem that way in New Jersey, right? They talked about Jackie and eating disorder at the lunch. Garcelle gives great confessionals. She definitely does, Shay. She gives great confessionals. I just felt like with Beverly Hills, it was more, you could speak on it, you could talk about it, the women knew about it. And in Jackie's case, I think because she seemed so fragile from the season before, after the cheating allegations and Evan, if you look back on that season, she's fragile. She's like crying. Like she's a hot mess. So I think that maybe like the girls knowing how fragile she was, and she had a rough season the year before with all the cheating rumors, and she kind of came on the show. If you guys remember, came on the show like she was like this badass attorney, writer. Do you guys remember she did that article about Jennifer Aiden in the magazine about spoiled kids after she went to Jen's house? And then like Evan obviously is like her kryptonite, because once these rumors started, she just like melted. She just melted. So I don't know if that's a sign that it's true. I don't know, but I just think she's in a really, really fragile state, and I think the other ladies especially know that. And so, you know, I think they just try not to really discuss it, you know, at all, to be honest. Groovy says Evan cheated. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. First of all, you don't put your sex life out on TV, honey. You don't never tell people you got a nice looking husband who has a good job and he treats you good and he's respectful and, you know, comes home at blase skip. You don't tell people that you're not, you know, servicing him. You just don't tell people that ever. Alright guys, well, I'm going to wrap this up. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on, so that we can keep these conversations going. And again, like I said, guys, I'm going to be on YouTube Thursday morning live with Dana Wilkie, like 10:30 in the morning, East Coast, talking Beverly Hills, possibly New Jersey, because just like me, she's calling all the troops, the resources, everyone to try to figure out what the hell is going on in New Jersey. So, alright guys, again, hit that like button, check out my community post, lots of different information there, and again, the missing child from New Jersey, the little girl, you can find her picture and a flyer with information, location, phone number to call. There's like a $75,000 reward. You don't have to worry about any sort of like visa or immigration issues if you have a tip and you want to call the phone numbers listed. They are directly to law enforcement. All right, guys, have a great day.